I was recently in the phone with one of my athletes and he was telling me about all the reasons that he thinks why he's not able to perform so well. He mentioned that his dribbling and his touch weren't perfect, his positioning on the field was always off, and he was not able to score as many goals as he felt like he was capable of. And overall, he was just telling me all the negative stuff about his game. And that's when I had to stop him and say, you are wrong. That is not the reason why you were not performing. The reason is much simpler than that. He was having bad performances just because he was not able to focus during the game. He couldn't lock in. He was worrying and overthinking too much about external circumstances of his game that he had no control over at the moment. And in today's video, I'll go over how you can stop overthinking, reduce the worriness, and start focusing like an elite professional athlete. I will review the exact tools and exercises many professional athletes like LeBron James, Cristiano Ronaldo, Djokovic, and many others use to unlock that next level focus. And I'm sure that those techniques will allow you to perform at a much higher level than you're currently performing, all because those things have helped thousands of athletes in the past, just like you. And by the way, if you don't know me, my name is Gabriel Diano. I'm a mental performance coach and I work with elite athletes daily. For the past 8 years, I have been working with athletes closely, trying to allow them to get to their highest level of performance using science-based techniques. So all things that I have done with them comes from research, and that is why we have so many successful cases of athletes using our methodology, reducing their worries, overcoming procrastination, becoming more confident, a lot more results, all related to the mental game. So let's start. How can you focus like an elite athlete? I want you to think about how focus works, how attention works. So imagine that you are in an important competition. Your brain perceives that as being important. Because it perceives that as being important, it channels more attention into the moment. Then, at this point, there are two things that can happen. Your body perceives that extra energy as something useful, and then you are able to channel that energy into better preparation, better performance, better focus, and then you enter the zone of flow, which essentially is what happens every single game with the best athletes. They are not getting to that point just because they are skilled. They're getting to that point because they are mentally ready for this. Think of Cristiano, Djokovic, Nadal, LeBron James, all of those guys. They know they're going to perform well because they are ready to face the obstacles. They are ready to tackle the challenges. And the second option is you have all that extra attention. Your brain perceives the situation as this is a threat. I have to get out of this situation, and then you choke. Because the situation is so challenging, it requires so much energy that you just cannot cope with that, and then you choke. Your body's trying to get out of that situation instead of feeling free, instead of expanding yourself, instead of being relaxed, focused, confident. And that space, that mental awareness would allow you to perform much better. So those are the two options. The main difference is how your brain is perceiving the situation to be. And that result is the consequence of all the experiences that you have been through in your life. So if many times you went to that competition, you didn't perform, your coach was saying negative things about you, your teammates were criticizing you, your parents were not approving you, it was only negative things you perceive. Okay, being in this situation again, it's dangerous. I don't want to be here. So this is a major difference of what happens with athletes who are not able to perform at the best of their abilities. So how do we get to that? And I want you to imagine yourself in that position. You are in a point that there are many events that happen in your life before. All of those events get you to where you are today. Do you feel like today you are in the space of when you get to a big competition, you feel like pressure is a privilege, you enjoy being there, you are able to make the most out of your potential? Or do you feel like all things that you have been through up until this point of your life are taking you to the spot of, I don't want to be here. This is too stressful. I don't know if I actually enjoy doing this anymore because it is so stressful, it's so demanding for my brain, for my body, that I just don't like being here. I feel like my legs get tired. I feel like my heart rate increases. I feel like I'm out of breath. I feel like I have no energy. Okay, do this analysis, be aware. Which point are you in today? This is a result of all past experiences that I have been through before. So in your brain, you have neural pathways that just remind you of this when you get there. And you cannot simply out willpower your brain. You cannot just go in there. You have thousands of connections in your brain telling you either pressure is a privilege, I like being here, or that I don't like pressure, I don't like being embarrassed, I don't want to fail, I want to get out of here. You have thousands of connections that are telling you one of these two things. You cannot just get in there and try to overpower your brain. I'm safe, I'm good enough, I'm better than them, I can perform. This is not going to happen. It is like never going to the gym and then telling yourself, I am strong enough to lift this heavy weight. It is not going to happen. Your brain is the result of the experiences that you have been through. And if in this point where you are today in your life, you feel like you're not able to use pressure in the best way possible, you have to change that. You have to do the work to change how that operates. So for us to change how that works, we must do the mental work. So there are 4 things here that I want to show you that can massively impact your mental game in a way that it is just to work on it. It's literally just your responsibility to put in the work to get better results. So the first one is developing a growth mindset. Pretty much, your abilities are not fixed. If you work for it, you're gonna get better. This is the first thing. Believing that you can improve, believing that you can be more confident, believing that if you work for it, things are gonna be different. But if instead you think, oh, it's the mental side, or I'm just not confident, I'm just not good enough, you are not gonna perform. You are never gonna change your mental skills because you just don't believe that you actually can, that you can make that better. So that is step number 1. Believing that you can make the difference, believing that you can get better. If you want to achieve your goals, you must have the mindset. Second thing, small goals. Having clear things that you want to focus on during the game. So once you get in there and you notice that your brain starts going to that place of, I don't want to be here, this is dangerous, you have a clear reason to be there. I'm here just to scan, to communicate, to position myself, to find the space, to keep a positive body language, to overcome the obstacles, whatever you define. Focus on clear process goals, things that are under your control that you can execute during the game. If you focus on those, you're gonna improve your performance. Third thing, your breath. That is 100% under your control, and that is a tool that you can use at any time to regulate your biology, to regulate your nervous system. So just notice, when you're more tense, when you're more tired, your breath changes, your brain pattern changes, and that changes the way you breathe. So just noticing that, if you notice that you're more tired, if you notice that you're not taking long, full breaths, you are entering that state of fear of, I want to get out of here. Your biology and your brain, the way you think and the way your physiology, your body responds are just one thing. It is the same thing. We separate that just to make it easier to explain how things work, but they're essentially just one. So using your breath, you can change the way your brain responds to different things. So just make them longer. Inhale for longer, exhale for longer, making sure that you're expanding your belly. As you do that, really relax yourself. This is going to have a major impact in your game. And the last thing is the flow channel. So if you have never heard of what the flow zone is, flow state is the mental space, the mental state in which you're going to perform to the best of your ability. That is the flow zone, the zone of flow. You're going to get there in this flow channel when the challenge that you are facing is matching the ability. So for example, if the challenge is too high and your ability is low, you are not in flow. If your ability is high and the challenge is low, you are not in flow. But when the ability, you have a lot of ability, you're a great player, and the challenge is very high, you are in flow. Now, it makes a lot of sense why Cristiano Ronaldo, why Haaland, why all of those great players perform better at big games, because the challenge is high, UCL final, World Cup final, and their ability is high. That makes them to enter this state. Now it makes a lot of sense why those big guys perform better in big games, and why you might not be able to perform in the most important games that you play, in the trials that you're playing, because your perception of yourself is not that high. You don't believe that you can actually make it. You have the skills, but you don't really believe, you don't perceive yourself as being that good. So when the challenge is here, and your ability, your perception of your ability is here, Or even here, you're out of that state. You are overthinking, you are worrying, you are replaying all things, second guessing, hesitating. What you need to change is your perception of yourself, having clear goals, and being in the moment. If you focus on those three things only, you're gonna achieve a much higher level of performance. Your focus is gonna be fully in the present moment, and then your skills are just gonna flow naturally. You're not gonna even think about what you do, you're just doing it. You're so involved with the game that things are happening automatically. This is the goal, and this is a consequence of your mental preparation. If you're here until the very end of this video, I wanna share a gift for you. In the first link in the description of this video, there's a free confidence masterclass that is going to walk you through step by step how you can become the most confident player on your team, showing you all the methodology that I use, showing you all the steps that I use with elite players, players playing and winning the major titles, the major leagues around the world. If this is something that you want, I highly recommend that you click the first link in the description of this video and watch that. It's free. I don't know how long spots are going to be open, so make sure that you do just that you invest time into your mental development. And if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the videos in my channel, make sure to subscribe, share that with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.